Masters of the Air just ended last week. It chronicles the experiences of the 100 bomb group, also known as the Bloody 100, as they fly daring daylight missions over Europe. But not every tale was told, so here are some of the untold tales of the Bloody 100. Warning, there are some minor spoilers ahead. The 100 bomb group garnered a notorious reputation as a cursed squadron within the 8 bomber group, where the prospect of completing a full 25 mission tour appeared grim. This reputation was so fearsome that upon finding out he was assigned to the 100, an airman cried to his friend, "I'm not going to make it, they assigned me to the 100, I haven't got a chance." This notoriety stemmed from harrowing losses suffered during pivotal engagements such as the Regensburg raid, where the group sustained 40% casualties, and the Munster raid, where only a solitary bomber returned. Both of these bomber raids are portrayed in the series. But the story of the pickle bus wasn't portrayed in the show, and it also lent credence to the idea that the 100 was cursed. Supposedly, Captain Robert Knox, flying a B-17 named Pickle Bus, lost 2 engines and fell out of formation. Knox reportedly lowered his landing gear in a recognized gesture of aerial surrender. As the Luftwaffe was escorting the stricken bomber to a German aerodrome, the bomber's second engine recovered, and Knox raised his gear and made a dash for home. Despite this attempt to escape, the bomber crashed with the crew either killed or captured. While likely a fictional tale, this story circulated around bomber bases nonetheless, and helped establish the group's hard luck reputation. The 100 wasn't always the elite unit that is portrayed in the show. In early 1943, as the group was preparing to ship overseas, the unit went under extensive training exercises. 21 crews from the 100 were chosen to fly 1,300 miles from their home base to Hamilton Fields in California. Unfortunately, due to their lack of discipline and inadequate training, the exercise turned into a disaster, leading to the unit being dispersed across western United States. While some bombers managed to reach California, 3 ended up in Las Vegas, including a very embarrassed Colonel Alkire. One bomber even flew in the wrong direction and then landed in Smyrna, Tennessee. Following the unsuccessful exercise, Alkire was relieved of his duties due to incompetence and replaced by Colonel Turner. Given his poor showing, the unit had to undergo additional remedial training at Wendover Field, Utah. Harry Crosby was heavily featured on the show. He was a skilled navigator, but also a bit of a romantic. He was such a romantic, he actually once refused to bomb a target. Crosby was the lead navigator for a mission over the Ruhr Valley, but the primary target was concealed by a thick layer of clouds. Consequently, the squadron was unable to release their bombs and proceeded towards the next available target, the city of Bonn. As the formation aligned itself at the initial point for the bomb run, Crosby, positioned at an altitude of 25,000 feet, experienced a moment of realization. This was the very location where Beethoven had received his education. Crosby, being of the sentimental sort and a huge fan of Beethoven, transmitted a message throughout the plane's intercom, declaring, "We cannot bomb Bonn." Because of this order, all 63 B-17s flew over the city and did not release their payloads. Instead, Crosby charted a new course towards the marshalling yards in Cologne. However, Crosby actually managed to escape punishment for this. When Colonel Harding asked General LeMay if Crosby should be brought before him, LeMay exclaimed, "No, keep him out of my sight." The mission to Rosenberg had the 100 land in North Africa, where they briefly stayed. Prior to departure, First Lieutenant Owen Cowboy Rowan, who was piloting a B-17 called Laden Maiden, acquired a donkey and decided to adopt it as the squadron's mascot. Rowan cleverly concealed the animal by wrapping it in blankets and kept it warm at the high altitudes. As the aircraft approached the airfield at Thorpe Abbotts, Rowan transmitted a radio message stating, "I'm arriving with a frozen ass." Thinking he was referring to frostbite, as that was common given the high altitudes, ambulances were dispatched to greet his plane. However, upon opening the hatch of the plane, the only frozen pasture discovered was a small African donkey named Mohammed, affectionately known as Mo. Unfortunately, given the climate difference between North Africa and England, the donkey quickly succumbed to the colder, wetter English climate. Well, I hope you enjoyed some of these untold stories, and if you haven't seen the TV show Masters of the Air, definitely check it out. And if you want to hear about more odd history, just hit the subscribe button.